What's going on, everyone? So it's no surprise the Los Angeles Lakers have been a dumpster fire recently. All the rumors of Darvin Ham potentially being on his way out. Lakers are currently on a 4-game losing streak. It's just not fun times right now for Laker fans and Laker Nation. But the Lakers, they need rebounding, and they went and got an elite rebounder. They got a guy that just set the G League record for 33 rebounds. He also had 23 points in that game. The Lakers have officially signed Dylan Windler from the Westchester Knicks. That's where he was most recently playing. The Lakers signed Windler on a 2-way contract. So this isn't a signee. This isn't a 10-day contract. This isn't anything like that. This is a guy that they're bringing in on a 2-way to kind of float around. Maybe he makes the roster at some point, right? We'll see what kind of trades the Lakers do. This to me, and I know some people are going to look at this as nothing, and I want to elaborate on this more in a moment, but I want to kind of get out all the information that we have. This is a move that signals the Lakers are going to make a big deal, like a big trade, because you're going to need bodies and you're going to need to bring guys up, and Windler has NBA experience, and he was the 26th pick in the 2019 NBA draft. So this is a guy that has been looked after, sought after, more of a veteran guy, 27 years old. But let's get into the details, and then I'll touch on that some more. So Windler, per his agent, Mark Bottestein, Andy Schiffman of Priority Sports told ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski the 27-year-old has agreed to a deal with the Lakers. Now, per Anthony Irwin from the Lakers Lounge podcast, the Lakers are expected to waive Alex Fudge to make room for Windler. Windler began the season with the New York Knicks. He split time between the NBA club and the Westchester Knicks in the G League before being waived by New York on December 13th. Again, this is a guy who has played some NBA minutes, nothing heavy, nothing crazy. So again, he's been in the league for 4 years. He has had 3 years with the Cleveland Cavaliers, 1 year with the New York Knicks. The most he's played was his first 2 years in Cleveland. He played 31 games and then followed that up with 50 games. The most he played minute-wise was the first year with 16 and a half minutes. And at that time, he averaged 5 points and 4 rebounds per game. He is looked at as an excellent elite rebounder for his size and position. This isn't a center. This isn't a power forward. This is a 6'6" shooting guard, small forward, 196 pounds, right? So he would be a guy that would be looked at as like a Josh Hart. Like think of Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart is not a center, but he rebounds like one, right? Like that. Didn't Josh Hart have like 15 rebounds in a game the other day? So that's kind of what the Lakers are hoping for with him, that he could kind of be a Josh Hart type player. But they waived Alex Fudge. So Alex Fudge, which sucks. I actually really liked Alex Fudge. But if Windler could be the guy that he appears like he may be, then I am all for it. Right? Obviously, you want to get the best talent possible, especially with that 2-way deal. You want guys that, if you needed to in a pinch, you could bring up and trust to kind of fill a void, fill a role, play a need. Right? You need those kind of guys as opposed to, guys that, you want development guys. You want guys that you can build with. But Lakers are kind of Lakers like those guys that can help more now. Right, like Colin Castleton, I think in any pinch could step up, could step in and really play a role for the Lakers. Same thing with Demoy Hodge. Like I wouldn't hate if they brought in Demoy Hodge at all, right? Demoy Hodge with his ability to shoot, the Lakers could desperately use that. So now, as far as the 3-way or the 2-ways go, right? They still have 3 guys on that 2-way. They have Demoy Hodge, Colin Castleton, and now Windler, right? Dylan Windler. So I like that group. We'll see if any of them end up getting called up. But as I mentioned, to me, this signals that the Lakers are potentially making a bigger deal, right? Because more likely than not, any deal the Lakers make, they're probably going to be getting rid of multiple guys, right? So, like, let's say Zach LaVine. However you feel about Zach LaVine, just using him as an example right now. Okay, so let's say the Lakers want to make a trade for Zach LaVine. They're very likely going to have to trade D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and probably Gabe Vincent, right? Let's say they throw in a Jalen Hood-Schifino for a young guy, and they get back Zach LaVine and Andre Drummond. Again, just an example. But let's say they get those two guys, right? The Lakers would have just done a 4-for-2 swap, and they only have 14 guys on the roster. So the Lakers, yes, they could, maybe have a 10-day on the contract on the roster at the time and maybe upgrade that person. The other option, because you can only have, you have to maintain at least 14 players. You do have like 2 weeks or whatever to kind of fill that gap, but you need to fill that roster spot. And you could either sign a bunch of random guys or you could promote one of your G League guys. And you're looking at a 27-year-old with some NBA experience that is elite rebounder at the guard position that the Lakers need. The Lakers also would be getting rid of almost all guards, right? Getting rid of D'Angelo Russell. You're getting rid of, very likely, Gabe Vincent. So those are two guys right there that you're probably getting rid of in the guard position. So it would make sense to kind of bring in that guy with size that can make some plays as well as rebound the ball well, right? And kind of help in that role. So again, I'm not saying that this is lock it in. Lakers are definitely making a trade. It could just be as simple as like they really like this guy. He's rebounding like he's a 10-foot center in the league, and just it's been completely unfair. This guy just, like I said, set the G League record for rebounding. All those things are a real possibility. But I also think what is an even bigger possibility is the Lakers are going to end up making a move. And when they make that move, it's very likely not going to be a 1-for-1, 2-for-2 move. They may do a smaller move, right? Like say, I don't know, Jackson Hayes and Max Christie for, a Miles Bridges or something, right? Just throwing a guy out there. But, something like that. I could see them potentially doing something like that. But at some point, they're going to do their big move. They're going to make their big trade. And I still fully believe it's Zach LaVine. And this makes sense to me. Because, again, you're getting rid of multiple guards. You're going to need somebody to come in and just kind of be a body, right? You could go with one of the guys that is in the NBA that doesn't have a roster, or you could go with a guy that fits a specific need that the Lakers have that also would be okay with just riding the bench and not really playing much, if at all. Guy that you could have not only this year, but for the foreseeable future. You bump him up to an actual NBA contract. So now he gets the NBA contract. You fill that roster spot. You'd still have to very likely fill 1 or 2 spots, right? So you could still go and sign, a center or whatever if you don't get, let's say you don't get an Andre Drummond, right? So there's flexibility there. And the way I look at it is, to me, the Lakers are positioning themselves. Like, I think this move is going to be something that we look back and go, okay, that makes sense, right? Because I think this is going to be a move where the Lakers end up making a trade, and then you're going to see them bring up like a Demoy Hodge and then like a Windler, right? Like, I could see them doing that and kind of going, okay, LeBron James is going to be our point guard. We just need somebody that can initiate. We got Austin Reeves. You're going to have to step into a bigger playmaking role. Like, that's kind of the route and approach that I see, and I could potentially, more likely than not, is what's going to happen and how this is going to play out. But, look, even if he's a guy that, just comes in and plays spot minutes, and if he can show that he can be an elite rebounder in the NBA level, because, again, in limited minutes, he was rebounding excellent. For a guard position, rebounding the ball excellent. So he's definitely a quality rebounder. like I said, in 16 and a half minutes for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he averaged 4 rebounds and 5 points, right? So you basically double that per 32 minutes, right? So he was looking at 10 points and 7 rebounds with 1 point, 1 assist. So say two and a half assists. Defensively, he's solid. It was getting after defensively. He had 1 steal, 1 block. So you're basically looking at like 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks, right? Like, so, I mean, that could be very valuable. Guy that could shoot the basketball. His last 2 years in the NBA, the time he played with the Knicks, recently he shot 50% from 3, although it's like on like 1 attempt per game average. And then with Cleveland in 2022, 2023, it was the same thing. He averaged basically 1 attempt per game, shot 50%. His rookie season, he shot 34% from 3. Rookie season, took 2.5 attempts. So, but this is a guy that's supposed to be a legitimate 3-and-D, also can rebound type player. Dylan Windler, I think, could be a solid acquisition. But to me, this is kind of like, okay, we need bodies that we can add to the end of the bench that aren't rotation guys that Darvin Ham feels like he has to play, right? Like, because that's another good thing too, right? He's a guy that is like, if the Lakers make a big deal, they're gonna very likely consolidate pieces to go get like a Zach LaVine, Andre, so that would lessen the rotation. Where now you could have a Dylan Windler come in, and then whatever minutes he gets here and there is what he gets here and there. But Darvin Ham doesn't feel like, oh, I got to get this guy minutes, so it kind of shortens the rotation. But again, I mean, this is a guy who for 3-point shooting, as far as the G League goes, he's shooting 38% from 3. So you got a guy that, 38% from 3 in the G League, if that can translate, just coming off of a 23 and 33 game. It literally happened Friday, right? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that this is something? Do you think it's nothing? Do you like this move? Do you not like this move? Could you see it kind of developing into something at some point? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these type of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.